the business solve.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. So you have brought up a very important concept, business analysis, problem, tools. Wow. Thank you very much. That brief definition carried a lot of information. And of course, Faith, you want to say something? Hi, Faith. Is your hand raised?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
Oh, good evening.
Good
Oh,
evening.
business analysis. Once I hear of it, I basically think of the business analysts using the data of an organization.
Okay.
Basically, using the data about being financial data or other data, IT data, in order to come up with a particular reaction or solution to help the organization, something like that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Somebody called the business analyst using data to solve a particular problem or create solution to a particular need. Thank you very much, guys. Very great attempts. And so the idea is that the feedbacks, it's always a very interactive session. So pardon me if I called you out. One of the traits of a BA is to be able to get information, right? Because if I don't get the information I need from you, then this class it's not a business analysis class. So there's always that collaboration, there's always elicitation, there's always discussions, yeah? Because like you have defined, if I'm going to be solving problems, you need to know what these problems are. And you need to be able to speak, you need to be able to communicate. It's very, very important. So pardon me if I called you, but thank you guys for your contributions. They were very, very apt. But let's see basically what it's about. Before we go into the word business analysis, let's look at what a business is basically from just basically official definitions. Business is defined as an organized economic activity wherein exchange of goods and services take place for adequate consideration. It is nothing but a method of making money from commercial transactions. So you remember the word business analysis, there are two keywords in that definition. So for you to understand it, holistically, you need to understand what a business is. So, of course, in our primary school and secondary school, we have had this definition over and over again. And of course, part of us who are coming from the financial background. So basically, there's a set of activity, right? And it involves exchange of goods and services, and you expect to make money or something out of it. It could be money, it could be just exchange. So just take note of the word, the economic activity, the goods and services, and the consideration. Let's look at some of the characteristics of the business, right? We have seen that number one is that it's an activity for economic purposes. Number two, there will be something you are exchanging. It could be information, it could be some kind of products. It involves selling, yeah. Of course, even in accounting, the principle of continuity, you hope to be in business for a long time, is there to earn of course, you're in business to make profit. There's some element of risk, that you go into business does not mean you're going to make it. It's the return is uncertain. There are so many factors that can affect your business. Legal and lawful characteristics, because you have to register them, you have to make sure they are in line with the laws of the land. And of course, at the end of the day, if you want to be profitable, you have to meet customer satisfaction. So having the definition and the reason why business exists as per the characteristics, let's see, having that in mind, let's now look at what analysis is as a word. Analysis is the process of breaking down complex topic or substance into smaller parts to gain better understanding of it. So we have the word business that involves sets of activities. Then we have the word analysis that involves breaking down complex topics. Yeah. So if you bring those two together, it makes sense from all you have defined that when you get into business, in a layman's view, you are trying to solve a problem. You're trying to meet a need. Yeah. And let's say, for example, let me make it as simple as possible. You want to start a business, right? And you have seen within your environment that, okay, there is no catering, there is no restaurant around this area. And you have, from your initial analysis, seen that, okay, if I cite a restaurant in this area, you think you're going to make money. Yeah. So having that thought already, you're already trying to meet a need and you hope that you make money from it. That's the idea of a business. But when you start thinking about it, like you start saying, how do I get the place? How much will it cost me to set the place up? What kind of things am I going to be selling in that shop? How many people am I going to employ? And a whole lot. So when you start thinking about these whole processes of setting up this place, that's the analysis side. So I'm just trying to bring these two concepts together. So analysis basically means if you want to meet that need, you have to break down that concept, break down the process of meeting that need into smaller parts for you to be able to gain better understanding of setting up that business in that area. Right? So that's the idea of business analysis. And just trying to make it as simple as possible. So let's see basically what the definition is. Business analysis is a practice of enabling change in an enterprise by defining needs, recommending solutions that deliver value to the stakeholders. That's the very first definition. So I cited an example as somebody who wanted to start a business. Let's say you work in an organization and over the years, you've been there for a while and you see there are certain finance processes that takes a lot of time. Let's say payroll, for example. Yeah, you have over 100 to 250 staff. And at the end of every month, it's always a task, getting the updated payroll, deducting deductibles, those who collected IOU, those who you gave advance, those who took loan, those who did. So imagine doing all this work every month, and that, for that process, you have realized that this takes a whole lot of time, right? And having come to this kind of course and having the mindset of change, you have actually met with your MD that, look, we need to improve this process. We need to make this process seamless. If possible, can I do this from anywhere I am? If possible, can we automate this process? So once you are enabling change and you have defined the need is that you want to automate this process so that you can have other time to do other things. And you have also gone forward to say, for us to meet this need, this is the solution. We need to set up an ERP that can help us improve our payroll operations. And you can actually say, if we do this, this is the value it's going to get to the stakeholders. To the staff, for example, they are going to be getting their pay earlier. They are going to be getting pay slip at the end of every month. These are some of the value that you think it will drive or deliver. That's the idea of business analysis. Yeah, so another thing is that it enables an enterprise to articulate needs and rationale for change and to design and describe solutions that will deliver value, right? So it's also pointing to the first thing I've said. Every change is a need. Change is constant and change drive needs. Yeah, and I've over time, we have seen that the IT space is going through some kind of change. Processes are now, we're looking at processes that are a little bit more seamless. Everybody wants to stay at their home and probably do everything they want to do. Yeah. So the idea is that business analysis enables that enterprise to be able to know what your needs are. Yeah. So if we want to do certain things, what is the need? What is the solution that I'm trying to drive to meet this need? What change do we need as an organization to be able to improve on our revenue, improve on our profit? What change do we need as an organization to reduce our staff turnover and all that? Once you start thinking about change and you start, or there's a need to do certain things, then the concept of business analysis is born. Yeah. And at the end of all that, change is to bring a solution that will deliver value. Yeah, so when you are employed, whatever you are employed to do, the need for you, and you were employed, and what you're doing is actually delivering that value that you are employed for. Yeah. So we're going to see who a business analysis is as at the end of the day. Yeah. So it can be used to understand the current state. One of the ways to drive change or discover or discover need is to analyze your current state. So currently, what is the process? So once you can analyze your current state, you can define your future state, then you can determine the activities required to move you from your current state to your future state. And so BA basically just talks about enabling change and defining needs and recommending solutions that will deliver value. That's the thinking or the mindset of business analysis. So who is a business analyst? Let me save us the time. Since you know what business analysis is, so a business analyst, according to the Business Analysis Book of Knowledge, which is the Baggot Guide, is any person who performs business analysis tasks. Yeah, no matter the job title or the organizational role, as long as you are driving, practicing change, you are a change enabler, and you are identifying needs, and you're recommending solutions, and you're delivering value, you're a business analyst. So the mindset now is, if you don't take anything from this class, just know that probably if you are an accountant, if you're an IT person, if you're a manager, the core of who a BA is if you are practicing if you're in the practice of enabling change within your environment, and part of that would be to define needs that needs to be met, and you're also part of the solution and you're delivering value, you're a business analyst. That is who a BA is, irrespective of what you're called. Whether you're called an accountant, you're called a manager, you're called whatever title, the truth is, once you are driving change and enabling and identifying needs and delivering solution, you're a BA. However, of course, the concept is why you need to now study business analysis as a concept is probably to give you a better insight on how to do what you're doing much more better, how to now put it into context. Business analysts are responsible for discovering, synthesizing, analyzing information from a variety of sources within an enterprise, including tools, processes, documentation, and stakeholders. So like somebody says, using data within the organization. Yeah, so part of the very important job of a BA, the analysis side, is to be able to gather elicited information, get information that can help you meet those needs or can help you drive that change. Because without information, you will not have enough basis to drive change. The business analysis is responsible for eliciting the actual needs of the stakeholders, which frequently involves investigating and clarifying their expressed desires in order to determine underlying issues and causes. So part of the job of a BA is to elicit the actual needs, because and the needs that are even worth fulfilling, because not all needs are important. Not all needs are in the scale of preference. If you put them on a scale of preference based on their value or value delivery, then you would know the needs that are high up there and that needs to be met. But of course, if you pick a typical organization, there are always needs. Yeah, but needs that would drive value, needs that will improve the operations, improve the processes, and needs that the BA needs to prioritize, as he does his work. And the last is that the business analyst plays a role in aligning the designed and delivered solution with the stakeholders. So if, for example, the example I cited, let's say the accountant or the CFO decides to say, for us to improve on the payroll process, we need to get a payroll ERP or a software that can handle these processes. Now, what has he done? He's playing a role in aligning, and of course, once you invite an ERP company to sort out your payroll issues, you're going to be aligning with them. First of all, you're going to explain the assist, what is the current state of our payroll operations. They're going to get a lot of background information about what you do, how many staff you have, how do you pay, and all that. So that's part of working with the change agent to be able to design a system that can effectively meet the stakeholders' needs, which is the bosses. Yeah, so somebody might ask, where has business analysis been and why is it now very relevant, and why is it driving, why are the job opportunities so huge, especially outside in other firms or other countries or other clients? Actually, the concept started somewhere around 1995, where we had the deficiencies in the 90s around ERP project management software. So within that period, there were a lot of failed projects. And you remember, there is another body we call the PMI or the PMP, the Project Management Program, that has their own, it's like a body that's probably that manages, that has that trains project managers to manage projects, especially in the construction industry. Only recently they started going agile. So there were a lot of failed projects in terms of the methodology being used then. The waterfall methodology to drive project was not working because a lot of change had happened in the world. Yeah, I won't go deep into that, but of course, business analysis is tilted more towards IT projects using the agile approach to deliver projects, within the IT space. So that's the two. So we're going to go into more details. But the history started in 1995. In 2001, we had the Agile Manifesto. So the Agile concept that we all hear and know now started somewhere in 2001. We had a manifesto, like a slogan or a law of the Agile principles. And the renowned body now that actually certified business analysts is called IIBA, the International Institute of Business Analysts, was founded in 2003. That runs, basically tries to have come up with principles and methodologies on how to drive agile projects, in business analysis. In 2005, we had the Business Analysis Book of Knowledge, which is like the guide, yeah, for all business analysts. If you're a BA and you want to do your certifications, you have to come in contact with the BABOK, we call it BABOK. And the principle of lean startup was established in 20. Lean is also a principle in project management. Agile is now dominant in the software development methodology. So all these, basically, the summary is that over the years, right, business analysis has evolved, and the approach we use is far different from if you're in the IT space and you're driving IT projects. We don't use the waterfall or the traditional approach they use in driving projects in the construction industry and the engineering space. If you're driving projects within the IT space, we use the agile methodology. Yeah, and hopefully, as we keep discussing, we're going to be learning some of these concepts, as time goes on. So let's look at, there is also something, an impression I also need to clarify, because I saw it in the definition. Somebody said something about business analysis and mentioned something about analytics. So there are two concepts right now, right? There's a business analysis concept and there's a business analytics concept. So when you start going data-wise, you're probably doing analytics. So business analysis focuses on processes, techniques, and functions. Yeah. They used to solve complex business problems, bringing out positive change. BA also is performed by business analysts, system analysts, functional analysts. The skill required is analysis, elicitation, modeling, documentation. Areas of impact are organization, enterprise process, business, and technology. So this is business analysis. Business analytics focuses on data and statistical analysis. Yeah, and of course, when you mine data, the idea is to predict future state and drive business decisions. It's not mostly performed by data analysts, data scientists. The required skill is statistics, advanced mathematics, software programming. Areas of impact is business decision, big data, data-driven solutions, and forecasting. So these are two different concepts altogether. It's just that when you hear the word business analysis, what first comes to your mind is, oh, there is data and we have to mine the data to be able to make solutions. That is tilting towards business analytics. Business analysis focuses on processes. So processes, techniques, and functions. So let me break it down. Let's go back to our project, the payroll. Yeah. So we have the CFO has been able to talk to the stakeholders, especially the project owner, the MD, CEO, and has said that, okay, we need a new ERP, and brings forward his benefit management plan, feasibility studies, and all those documentations you need to prove your point. And the CEO has approved that, okay, let's now bring in the payroll ERP. Now, once that decision is made, of course, it kickstarts certain processes. We're going to have a BA, most likely a lead, and a project manager who are now going to understand the current state of the business in terms of payroll. How do you currently run your payroll? So, and of course, understanding the assist is key if you're going to drive that change. Yeah. And of course, when you there's a lot of documentations that go through these processes. You have to have stakeholder meetings. You have to, plan data migration, plan training, do all those other activities that you need to do to drive this change. But the idea is that inside business analysis is business analytics, because when you elicitate the data from the business, you have to now analyze that data. And that's where analytics comes in. But in terms of career, business analysts and data analysts are two different things. But of course, you have to look at the job requirements and know exactly what they want, because business analyst basically focuses on business processes. Data analyst focuses on the data that the business analyst has been able to elicitate from the stakeholders. When they elicitate that data, they pass it on to the data analyst, who will now refine and go through the data management process to be able to make sense out of it and send it back to the BA, who would use that to finish up the project, of course, with other team members. So this is me just trying to explain this concept, because there are job opportunities for these two sets of people, but sometimes people think it's just one concept, but they're actually two different concepts. And we're going to see that when we go into the job market. Now we have some of the skill set that is required of a BA. Communication is at the top of the pyramid because as a BA, you are going to be the middleman between the business and the technical team. You're going to be interpreting the assist and to be of the business. You're going to understand the business vision. You're going to be communicating more with the stakeholders. You're going to be driving that change. You are the center of driving change. Yeah. And most times in projects, the communication between the business, which is the client, and the solution providers, you are in the middle. Yeah, so communication is very, very key. Is a very high requirement. We don't have shy people as BAs. We don't have people who don't have emotional intelligence as BAs. We don't have people who cannot manage crisis in terms of human beings can be very, in quotes, annoying, but it's part of your job to make sure you can bring parties together and make sure the goal of the project is achieved. Yeah. We have problem-solving skills, very, very important, because you're going to have a lot of challenges. So you have to be able to know how to solve problems. You have to know how to negotiate, critical thinking, relationship building, self-management. You see, the first 6 skills are basically around people and processes. That tells you that it is people management is a high up skill set for the BA before you now start talking about the technical skills. Because you're not good with the stakeholder, if you're not in tune with the user, if you're not in tune with the business, there is nothing to analyze because you're not going to get the right information to begin to use analytics tool to analyze. So it's very, very important that the first 6 of these skills, you have them. Once you have them, then every other thing would fall in line. So you have analytics skills, computer skills, personal attributes, ambiguity, interpersonal skills, requirement analysis, technical skills, and all other skill sets. But the first 6 are very, very important skill sets in the life of a BA. Now, let's go into the market and let's see what business analysis looks like. And of course, you're going to see data analysis or data analyst. But let's go to LinkedIn, for example. Let's check the job requirements. So you get that clear picture of what this skill set is really all about. So that if you want to switch careers, I mean, this is the right time to do that because the demand is huge, especially abroad, if you are basically in Nigeria. So I'm just going to go to LinkedIn. I'm going to search for business analysis or business analyst. So I have this business analyst. Example, you can see the job set for a BA. So let's pick just random. I don't want to pick this senior. It will look. So let's just pick this guy, business analyst. Let's see the requirements. Yeah. If we go down, you're going to see the responsibilities. Number 1 is work with business stakeholders, external partners, software development teams to analyze business challenges, design practical and attainable solutions, prioritize work to maximize business value delivered by the software development team. So this will tell you that there is a need and they're developing a software to actually meet that need. Number 2 is strategic focus, emphasis on strategic app consolidation, refactoring out, blah, blah, blah. Number 3 is develop, maintain, and strengthen effective relationship with business and IT stakeholders. So that's what I was trying to tell you. The BA is in the middle of the 2 parties, right? So it's important. Act as a bridge between business and DevOps teams. That is also established. Yeah. So the BA holds a very, very, in fact, if the BA fails, the project fails. Yeah, they are the life of any project. And help to document and communicate strategic vision, clearly define epics, features, user stories. Well, if you take the full BA course, you're going to understand some of these concepts. Provide navigation, understand and document data flows, remain flexible with multiple shifting priorities, possess a fundamental understanding of end-to-end business experience, blah, 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 blah. Let's just move forward. You can see some of the job requirements and the skill sets, which we are going to see much later. You're going to see things like SQL, QA, software as a service. We're going to also see the skill sets that are also required of a BA. Unfortunately, we don't have the value here. In some of these jobs, you have the price. So this is basically what business analysts do. So they are different from data analysts. So let's see if we would do something called data analysts. Okay, so we have, let's pick this, senior finance data analyst. So you're going to see, so you see what data analysts do: create and maintain large-scale databases, develop, review, and sustain critical financial operational reports, lead a team comprising of data analysts and data scientists, investigate data trends, collaborate with the operational team for data retrieval, actively contribute to business performance department, continually refine and enhance reporting and control process. So you can see the difference between the two. Yeah, one is basically focused on how to get data. The other is the data analyst is focused on how to process the data, how to use the data to make sense out of the data. So that's the two concepts, and those are the two roles that are very high up the market right now. Then, of course, we have the business intelligence, which is also BI, which is also something we can discuss in another session. So that is basically a review from the market. We can see a distinction between the business analyst and the data analyst. Some of the roles you would find is business analyst, strategic architect, functional manager, IT governance. These are some of the concepts, but the requirement for most of these roles is the job of a BA. Remember, to identify need, drive change, provide solution, and value to stakeholders. So basically, this is some of the roles you most likely see when you're looking for the job that fits a BA. Now, why business analysis? Why do we have to, why is this basically existing? There are four important points here. It helps to understand the structure and the dynamics of a business. Yeah, and it's very, very important to understand that. And it allows you to understand the current problems in the target organization. It helps you to identify improvement potentials and recommending solutions to enable an organization to achieve its goals. It helps you to identify and articulate the need for change, to maximize the value delivered by an organization to its stakeholders. So that's why you need a BA in every IT project right now in the world. You don't run IT projects with just the training of project managers are different from the training of BAs, and the project managers use the PM book, BAs use the bar book. Yeah, the mindset is different. So somehow, and really why BAs actually came up is because we were trying to use the project management approach, the traditional or waterfall approach, to drive IT project, and there was a lot of failures. That is what actually gave birth to the agile, the word you use, agile methodologies, the Scrum, the product owner, and all those concepts, lean, and the rest of them. These are all because the environment of IT is constantly changing. Yeah, you need a methodology that can change, that's flexible enough to meet the goals. But the traditional or the waterfall approach used by basically most of the in the engineering field, of course, PMP right now is also are also going agile. Yeah, but the distinction between the two is that one is basically agile and uses the agile methodology to drive IT projects. You cannot use that methodology to drive construction projects. Yeah, why the other one is basically is known. The methodology is known to drive certain kinds of projects. Now, before I think we're going to be wrapping up very soon. Yeah, let's look at the mindset of a BA. Yeah, that makes them a little bit more very, very important within the organization. Yeah, or why if you're going to come into the space of a BA, why you need this mindset, or why the mindset is very, very important. Because you're in the heart of every IT project, you're in the middle, then the success or failure of those projects will rely a lot on you. So it's important that you work on your mindset as a BA. That's why you cannot, if you're not trained, then and you're doing the BA role, you probably have a lot of issues. Number one is the focus of the BA is to calibrate the solution for business goals. The goal is always at the top of the mind of the BA, yeah, and the focus is on the business. Driving that change and delivering that solution is at the core of the mind of a BA. And that is what determines the success or failure of a BA. Number two, solve the right problem. The mindset is to solve the right problem, not solve all the problems. Yeah, so you have to be able to identify the right problems or identify the most critical of the problems and prioritize these issues as much as possible. Number three is you have to have a mind that questions everything. You have to be able to speak up. You have to be able to ask questions. You have to be able to be inquisitive, because you are going to be interpreting the business language. You're going to be interpreting the needs to the technical team or to the developers. So you have to know a lot. You have to understand the assist or what is happening. You have to understand everything you need to know about that organization. The fourth is you have to be able to lead and facilitate processes and people. Yeah, you have to put yourself out there. You have to be able to, communicate and, bring people out. The fifth is analysis before synthesis, information before requirement. What this means is that getting information is key, because if you don't get the right information, or you don't get the right information on time, or you get the wrong information, you're going to have a problem within that project, and it's going to affect even those who are going to be using that information to drive change. Another top is uncover gaps within processes. So if you're analyzing processes, either to improve on them or to create new ones, or to come up with a particular decision on what to do with those processes, identifying the gaps within those processes is also very key. Simplify until nothing can be removed. Break down those needs as small as possible until you can assign the necessary resources you need to assign to them. Take responsibility for shared understanding of business requirements. We're going to know more about business requirements and all that. Accept and embrace business change. Be part of the solution. And that's very, very important. A BA is not a project manager. A BA is a change agent. The job of a BA is not supposed to be the one causing the problems. The BA is supposed to be one making sure that he is part of the solution. So if, for example, you're in a project within a firm and you have issues with the stakeholders, you're not supposed to be the one having the problems with the stakeholders. If you have the problems with them, it is in your power to be able to resolve those issues. If there are differences between the business and the technical team, you're supposed to be able to, find a very good position to align those goals. Now, another thing at the mindset is expect human behavior from humans. Expect that people are going to resist change. Because when we talk about change, some changes would benefit some people. Of course, if you look, for example, the country of Nigeria, why people would not allow changes. Of course, the status quo benefits me, so I'm going to fight it. Any system or process that benefits people, you will see a lot of resistance when it comes to change. It is a job of a BA to be able to align, to be able to make sure that people are well informed. You analyze your stakeholders and you know who they are. You have to come up with the power metrics. You have to know them, know their influence, their level of influence, their level of power, their level of what, the ones that can really cause these projects to fail, and analyze them and make sure you deal with them when the project starts. You know how you have to come up with strategies on how to diffuse that resistance. It is the job of a BA. The 12th is learn, adapt, and thrive. Part of the mindset is that wherever you find yourself, you have to be quick to learning and open to learning. You have to be able to adapt to whatever environment you find yourself, and you have to thrive. You have to, make that change happen. So this is the mindset. And for every BA or anyone who is practicing BA, and you see people who are out there who are trying to push for change within the organization, and they're doing a lot of work on that. They are actually BAs, but they did not know. Yeah, but the idea is that this is a mindset we have when we go into projects. Yeah, and it's unique because we know the importance we have. We know that we are sitting in the middle, so we have to be as positive as possible, and we have to make sure that that change happens. But you're going to face a lot of resistance, especially from stakeholders who have high interest and high power, or even those who have low interest but high power. So you have to, of course, analyze everybody within their power metrics and manage them accordingly. Yeah, so I've talked a lot. We have a little challenge which we are going to do in 3 minutes. We're almost out of time. So let's do this in 3 minutes. So I have a challenge here. A stakeholder disagrees on a vital point, and the side with higher authority is winning, even though it does not have a solid argument. So you have stakeholders. Of course, we talked about those, the power metrics. Yeah. So some stakeholders within an organization, there's a vital issue and there's a disagreement. However, the side with the higher power is winning, even though it does not have a solid argument. Challenging authority is intimidating. Stepping in between two parties that are disagreeing and taking on a referee role can be emotionally tasking. The business analyst is unwilling to arbitrate or wants the sides to settle their difference themselves. So if you look at this scenario, it will give you an example of who a BA is and what a BA does. Different from, you might not even see a data analyst. The business might not come in contact with the data analyst at all, because their work is to probably analyze the data and send the feedback back to either the technical team or to the BA. But as a BA, you are the face that they would see almost every time. And you will meet this kind of issues where different stakeholders have different ideas. I've been a lot in meetings where there are shoutings, people walk out. You're there to create change, but people are resisting. You don't know who. I won't have time to really share my experiences and all that, but this is a typical scenario that you might face, or you have faced, or you would face if you come into the BA space. So we don't have time. I would have wanted to ask, how you would deal with it, but we really don't have time. So let me go straight to what I think the mindset for the BA would do. The BA with the right mindset will do. The opposing side might not be willing or ready to settle their differences on all points, but the BA should facilitate consensus on the questions relevant to the project and to the project goals. The consensus should be based on facts and analysis, use real business data to validate assumptions, and an objective evaluation of pros and cons to avoid subjective decisions. This will require diplomacy, assertiveness, and objectivity under pressure. So these are the kind of issues that the BA would face in a project. And if I had time, I would have probably shared some of my experiences, but it's not an easy job at all. Interfacing with stakeholders, managing the expectations, and managing the interests is, in fact, as a BA, you're like a politician, but the most important thing is the goal, the business, the change, and the value that you need to deliver. Some of the BA business analytics tools that a BA should be familiar with, you have Excel, you have SQL, you have Fogboss, you have Target Process, which is under the Agile family, you have Tableau, you have Jira, you have Macros VBA, you have MS Visio, and you have BPMN. These are very good tools that would help you more, these tools tilt more towards the data analyst, but as a BA, you should be familiar with them, especially MS Visio, Jira, BPMN, and Excel. The other ones are more for data analysis and, to be able to mine data. Yeah, so thank you very much. In our next session, we will probably look at the BABAP guide. We'll look at what it feels like to be in a project as a business analyst, and we'll probably dive deep into the career. So it's a very lucrative career right now. Sorry, I couldn't show you Nigeria, but it's a very lucrative career anywhere in the world. The demand is high, the skill set is high, because IT is really driving the world right now. There's high need for BAs, not necessarily project managers, but people who can make sure that the change that needs to happen within the organization, they can be able to coordinate that change. And of course, BAs most time work with project managers to be able to deliver value at the end of the day. So if you have any questions, you can ask, and this is me signing out. Thank you very much, everyone, for taking your time to listen. Thank you. Hi, Bonanle. If you can take it up from here. Hi, Bonanle, are you there? Hello, Uma, Bonanle, can you guys hear me? Okay, so Uma, are you there? I was hoping that they would wrap up this session. Okay.
Hello, good evening. Okay,
Yes.
this is Angel, the account solutions. I don't know if one is available. I want to thank you very much, sir, for delivering as usual. You really did justice to this. Thank you so much. I don't know if any of us have questions. We can take one or so before we go. So please, anybody that has a question, please put it in the comment section or you raise your hand. If not, we might just bring this to a close. All right, okay. So I think it's like we all understood everything. Right here, I was actually taking so much notes, and I know it is a very good. Next week, we are going to continue this same topic, but we'll dive deeper into this conversation. Thank you very much, and I want everyone to please say thank you to Mr. Kilichi. Mr. Kilichi, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, all of you. I'm also happy to be here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so see you all next week. See you all next week, same time next week. We'll still go deep into this topic. And please, if you have any questions, please do keep it next week. I'm very sure Mr. Kilichi is going to handle them all. Thank you all so much. I have a very good night.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend.